Hey everybody, it's Comics G-Man. Good to be back. So I'm going to talk about Sergio's comments, other comments at the end of the video because we're going to talk about my Adventures of Superman. But I haven't read any of the newer comments, so I will read them at the end, so there'll be more of a surprise for me based off of what happens in the new episode, which I just watched. But I want to talk more about my thoughts first about what I think of My Adventures of Superman Season 3, Episode 5. And let me tell you, I'm very, very mixed on this, okay? Because there's a lot of things that I love what they did, and there's a lot of things where I'm hating what they're doing. Now, let me explain. They are squeezing a lot in, and it just comes off very, very baked and very fast. You know, like Sergio, when you bring up Dragon Ball Z, which is a great example, but not a good example, because what does Dragon Ball do great? Okay? Now, a lot of people make fun of the filler episodes, the episodes that just drag out, like during the Frieza saga. But what was so great about Dragon Ball for me was how the show gave you so much time with every character pretty much, and even the filler episodes, even the bad episodes, if you even want to say the bad episodes, because I even enjoyed like some of the goofy episodes. But at least what Dragon Ball allowed you to do was immerse yourself into the world of Dragon Ball and to fall in love with Goku, Krillin, Bulma. I'm talking the earlier sagas here, man, because yeah, the Majin Buu saga was good, but my biggest memories, like I said in my last video, was like during the Saiyan saga. Even Bardock, right? Like, even though Bardock in the show you don't get much of him, you get a little bit here and there, but then you had the movie with Bardock, you saw that, so that even allowed you to have more time with Goku's father. But even before Dragon Ball Z, right? You had Dragon Ball, where Goku's a kid. And, like, you see Bulma, where she's a teenager, Roshi, and, like, you're watching all these characters grow up, and there's so much time that, and I know I'm asking for a lot for this show to do the same thing, but that's why Dragon Ball is such a classic, and that's why it's never going to die as a show, because it's literally a show you could jump into and you just fall in love with it, and it's like a whole other world, because it's so large, it's so many episodes. And the same thing with one of my other favorite animes, like Bleach. We could talk about Naruto, but I fell more into Bleach. I'm more of a Bleach guy, but I love Naruto, don't get me wrong. But like with all these animes, right? Like, that's what anime is why it's so great. Like, there's so many episodes, so it's like such a great, like, it's like a book, like an animated book. You just delve into it. My Adventures of Superman, what is so bad about this, what I'm feeling right now? It's anime because it's trying to be anime with the style and stuff. They're changing the cover every week here, which is cool. I did like seasons 1 and 2 a lot, and I actually thought they were doing it right in season 1 and 2. They were doing that kind of like that build up, that world building, and like every episode felt like it meant something, and it didn't feel too rushed to me. And especially season 2, which I've said in my last video, is a 100% season for me, because it completely focused on like Supergirl, Superman, what the hell is going on here with her being a genocidal maniac for this versions of Brainiac. So, like, you know what I mean? But this season is I don't know, man. It's fucking up because they've already concluded everything in one episode with John and Hank Henshaw. Now, I know at the end they show us that John is back in the future and Lex Luthor is he's like a Brainiac, which I could tell you they probably got that idea from the most recent comic book by Philip Kennedy Johnson, The Book of El. Let me see if I could pull that up real quick. If I could pull it up. Although my memory is serving me wrong. I don't think Lex Luthor is like that. But anyway, it reminded me of Book of El, like the way they did the future stuff in this a little bit. But you know, like they teased the death of Superman just with the title of the episode. They teased like Kara maybe getting killed in this battle. But in one episode, they defeat Hank Henshaw, Cyber Superman. This is like if you watch Dragon Ball Z and they defeat Cell in like one episode. And let's say it like this. Let's say, do you remember how Cell evolves, right? I don't remember the exact forms in that. Wasn't there 3 forms that Cell evolved into? Like, I remember there was the regular Cell, there was another one, and then there was finally Perfect Cell. Am I right about that? Or was there just 2 forms and I'm mixing that up with Majin Buu? You tell me in the comments. But my point is, this show, it's like, okay, we're going to skip all of that, and here we are, we're going to give you Cell right away, and we're going to defeat Cell in, like, episode 5 of season, when did he show up? Season, 5 or 6 of, Dragon Ball Z? But you get what I'm saying? Like, it just feels totally anticlimactic. It feels totally rushed, right? It's not allowing me to fall in love with the characters like Season 2 did, and Season 1, right? Like, I fell in love with Jimmy, Lois, Clark, his Superman, right? I love the Superman in this. I even fell in love with the villains from like the small villains like Banshee. What's Livewire? Like, I love the way they did Livewire in season 1. Everything, dude. Oh, Parasite, dude, was fucking awesome, bro. He was like a kaiju, man. That was crazy what they did with Parasite. And they did a decent build-up with Parasite, at least. Like, I think that might have been like 2 or 3 episodes. Sure, it was fast a little bit, but I thought that was pretty cool what they did. And then there was season 2, right? Like, I just keep bringing season 2 up. But this, like I was more hopeful for John, but they just completely rushed it. And here's my biggest gripe with episode 5 now. I love this and I hate this part. Because, like, okay, you know what? Let me just show some images here so I'm not just talking out of my ass. Alright, let me see if I can find it real quick. Right? I mean, there's some really good stuff in this. Like, don't get me wrong. But it sucks. It absolutely sucks because it's selling itself as an anime, and yet it's not like an anime at all. Like, it's like a very short, like, I don't know. It should be more than this. It should be more. DC is, I think they're just not putting enough money into this stuff anymore. And especially now that Supergirl, the movie, oh, here it is, guys. Here it is. This is my favorite part, actually, of episode 5. When they're telling you, like, there's a part where she keeps saying, like, John, why can't you look at me? Why do you hate me so much? Why don't you just listen to me? I can't even find, like, the basic images here. There's a scene where we find out that John in the future was raised by Kara. And I really, really love this. Oh, here it is, guys. Here it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, like, so we see them in the future, like, since John and Lois were killed in his future, he's raised by Aunt Kara. And I absolutely love this idea. Like, look at this, right? Like that you see them growing up and how they're living in this world, right? Like, she looks kind of like a savage Supergirl, you know? Like, so, like, what kind of future was this really? So this pissed me off. This is another example of why this show is sucking so far. You tell me, am I crazy for suggesting this? Would this have not been an awesome fucking plotline in itself? Like, what if no, they wasted episodes 1, 2, and 3 on fucking dating, right? Like, Jimmy is dating and Kara is dating and all this fucking goofy bullshit, when we could have had a great, like, they could have started off like this. Like, we could have seen John in this alternate future growing up without John and Lois, and, like, we could have seen Kara raise him like this. Like, wouldn't this have been some great stuff? And then, like, we could have seen her get killed, and then eventually build it up to him going back in time. Like, I would have preferred, actually, like, if they went away from Lois and Clark and Jimmy, because how bad those episodes were anyway, were a complete waste of time. And we had this. This would have been fantastic. And no, what do we get from this? We get a couple of slideshow moments about like these integral moments of Jon's life. We just get slideshow shots. Really? This is bad, guys. This is bad. I'm sorry. I mean, it's cool. You know, like the episode was good. The fight was good, but I'm sorry. This is not doing it. Season 3 is just not doing it for me so far. Now, what the one cool thing about this, the reason why it made me think of this. Hold on, guys. Where is it? Where is it? See, I didn't read this one yet because I just got this in the mail. But this is Supergirl Survive, right? I don't know. I didn't read the summary about it when I pre-ordered it a few months ago. So I guess maybe this is Jonathan. I don't know who this is supposed to be. Or maybe it's Clark as a baby. And they end up, surviving together. So I can't wait to read this. But I'm waiting to read this because I'm doing some other stuff. But yeah, like, dude, this scene here where they're together reminded me of, it's kind of like this kind of thing going on, right? Supergirl Survive. So they do this kind of stuff. And this is where it's like, okay, you want to be an anime. Season 2, you did it. Season 2, you gave us a lot of great time with the characters to fall in love with them. But Season 3, they seem to be completely rushing everything. Like, they're just like, oh, and this, and this, and this, and this. Oh, Cyber Superman this. Jon and Kara this. And then, and then, and then. Like, it doesn't feel like a world building here. It feels like a big failure. And this moment where they team together to, like, fucking wreck Cyber Superman, like, it's really cool. It's cool animation and stuff, but it's not earned. This scene is not earned yet. This should have been later on. Like this is like if they defeated Brainiac in Season 2 by Episode 5. Would that make sense? No. No, it wouldn't make sense at all. The Cyber Superman, this was a complete waste of time. This feels like a complete waste of time. Nobody dies. There's no consequences. Superman loses his powers, but we all know he's going to get them back. Let me see what else goes on here. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to like this. I really wanted to like this, guys. As a super fan, I want to like this. Don't take me wrong. But I'm just seeing the wasted potential here. I was expecting a little bit more. A little bit more than this. I wasn't expecting them to end it like this so quickly. See, that was a bit disappointing. So, alright guys, so on to the comments that I have not covered. Let's catch up on what everybody's been saying here. Okay, I did not read these ones from Sergio. Alright, Sergio, so let me give you the spotlight. I think I read that one 4 days ago. Alright, let me see. Let me go in order then. Alright, this must be the first one, so let me see. Alright, Sergio. So he says here is the second analysis of Season 3 regarding Jimmy, specifically covering episodes 1 to 4, focusing on his karma, low self-esteem, and sense of worth. Jimmy and Kara have been in love since Season 2, yeah, right, but he doesn't believe he is worthy of her, yeah, he views himself merely as Superman's pal. When Kara confesses her feelings, he rejects her, insisting she could do better than him, citing the fact that she was isolated by Brainiac for 22 years. However, he failed to consider that his relationship with Kara isn't all that different from Clark and Lois's. While it's true Kara lacks worldly knowledge, that isn't the real issue. The problem lies with Jimmy's low self-esteem and his failure to follow Lois's example. Now Supergirl has attracted many suitors since the convention in Episode 2, which really bothers Jimmy. It hits him hard, or rather, burns him up inside. This adds a new layer of meaning to his username, Jimmy Flamebird. He is literally burning with jealousy, discomfort, and regret. To make matters worse, karma is hitting him hard with a giant woman and now a woman with porcupine powers. What do you think? Will the next woman Jimmy encounters have ice and fire powers? It seems like Kara unconsciously and indirectly got a bit of revenge on Jimmy. What's your take on this? Yeah, no, that's a good take. That's funny. But, I don't think Jimmy deserves, like, any bad karma. I mean, yeah, because he's doing all the dating and stuff to prove that he's, he could find other women. and all of that. So he is being an insecure dickhead, though. I do see what you're saying there. But I think, like one of my favorite versions, actually, like at least on TV, of Jimmy Olsen. If you probably watched it, right? Jimmy Olsen CW. I really like this guy on the CW show. I forgot his name. Is that it? Mehcad Brooks? Alright, dude, so, like, the way they handle the romance in the Supergirl TV show was annoying, too, because Supergirl never actually gets, like, a stable relationship in the Supergirl show, so that's just as annoying. But, like, first, is it going to be with Win, who's, like, this guy, over here? Like, because Win was the first guy that she told she was Supergirl, and like he builds her to suit and everything, but no, she doesn't love him. She just likes him as a friend. So then it's like, okay, so then is it going to be Jimmy, right? Like they got a good chemistry. Is it going to work out, right? No, it doesn't work out either. I don't even remember. I don't remember why. And so that annoyed the shit out of me. So then Jimmy ends up with like Lena Luthor, and then Lena Luthor dumps Jimmy. Like this is another thing. It seems like with female superheroes, at least at DC, or at least with Supergirl, they can't seem to keep them in a stable relationship. Now I don't know if that has to do with the feminist bullshit, or they just think that's like clever writing and it just keeps us like, oh, who's she gonna be with? Who's she gonna be with? You know what I mean? Like it gets on my nerves. So I hope they are not trying to do the same shit here with Jimmy. But they might, like, they might make it like that, which I think is very annoying. That ping ponging, like, oh, is it gonna be? Is it not gonna be? It's kind of like, I think he proved himself enough with them after what they went through in season 2, and how like he treated her, and I think it's the writer's way of kind of like demeaning Jimmy. Actually, I don't think Jimmy needs to be demeaned. I think Jimmy like proved himself, like he's a loyal friend to Clark. He's a smart guy when it comes to photography, and obviously, like, dude, how he handled like his Flamebird channel on the TV show, like that he got like so many subscribers and he made all that money and stuff, and I mean he blew all the money in like season. I forgot what episode it was, but like he blew it on the yacht when they had to go in that mysterious place. He blew the money on like so many things, but like it shows like he's resourceful. He was able to make it at that meeting, that whole thing where he made the speech with Lex Luthor, even though he looked like a dick being next to Lex Luthor, like he was against aliens like Clark and all of that. But the point is, like, Jimmy throughout the show has proved himself time and time again to be a formidable character. So I get that, they could keep him being like a little low self-esteem, because yeah, obviously, dude, how could you not feel that way with a super being that could do all these things? But at the same time, like, I don't see why he can't be like Lois. Like, he should still have some confidence. Like, it should be enough that he loves Kara Zor-El. You see what I'm saying here? So like that should be enough of his driving motivation. But making a fool of himself and doing all this stuff with the dating, I don't know, dude. I just feel like they're kind of pissing on his character, so I don't like what they're doing with that. But I hope eventually they don't pull a CW on him and Kara, and they just say, okay, they're going to have a stable relationship. Now, we saw that they are supposed to in the future, right? They're supposed to, but they might fuck it up now that they're going to change the future and they did everything different. So we'll see what they do. It's a pain in the ass. It really is a pain in the ass. But yeah, I like what you're saying there. Have you noticed that since the My Adventures with Superman series began, Kryptonian culture and technology appear much more frequently than in previous Superman shows? And don't you find it curious that Kryptonian technology is vulnerable to kryptonite, considering the tech itself isn't a living being from Krypton? That was unexpected. Usually, there are very few references or explanations, but in this series, they come up quite often. What do you think? No, I mean, because I think in some comics, right, like, there's the kryptonite is just bad all around. I mean, not just bad for like the living beings, like some. And I forgot which one. I read something one time, and it was like about how the kryptonite itself was the reason why Krypton blew up, and like I mean, I don't remember where I read that from, but I could, to me, you could make that make sense where like kryptonite is not just bad for the characters, but it's also bad for like against Kryptonian technology. Maybe you could say something about the frequencies of the kryptonite against the frequencies of the kryptonite technology. Like you could come up with some reason. I think it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, no, I see where you're going with that. See, I watched today's episode of My Adventures with Superman season 3, and it wasn't what I expected. Okay, this was 6 hours ago. So you watched episode 5, right? I didn't want to read your comments until I watched episode 5, Sergio. So now I could see what you say, so it's not going to spoil it for me. Number 1, the episode title. The death of Superman points to 3 things. The death of Hank, Superman losing his powers, and Lex once again causing a disastrous future, implying that John will travel back to the past, somewhat like the Bishop and Cable storyline from X-Men. Number 2, everything suggests Superman will regain his powers by repairing his biomatrix after forcing it to counteract green kryptonite radiation using the Fortress of Solitude technology, similar to the reign of the Superman comic, and the Superman, I was going to say like Superman 2. After all, he wasn't exposed to gold kryptonite. Yeah, dude, gold kryptonite, man, that shit's fucked, bro. Like, that shit is OP. And, like, you know where I remember golden kryptonite? I was reading this Legion of Superheroes comic, the one where right before Superboy fucking sacrifices his life. I think this was like a 1980s one by Paul Levitz, if I'm correct. And, like, Krypto the Superdog is... there's, like, a fight going on between a Superman from another multiverse and then the Superboy, and they're fighting each other because this Superboy was holding the Legion of Superheroes against their will with the Time Trapper, right? If I get that right, yes. And fucking Krypto, who talks in the comics, not like in the movies, he talks in the comics. You see Krypto, the Superdog's Bubbles, what he's thinking, right? Is I have to go in the shed. I have to save Superboy. He can't, do this against that. And he goes in the shed and he picks up the gold kryptonite. And it's like, wait a minute, dude, what are you doing? And Krypto loses everything. He loses his superpowers, his thoughts, and he becomes a regular dog. Like, it was tragic, bro. I thought that was tragic. Like, a totally underrated moment that I don't hear anybody talk about. Like, why didn't Krypto realize that he was going to fuck himself up when he got the golden kryptonite? That was tragic, man. Absolutely tragic. So, yeah, dude. Yeah, there's been no golden kryptonite in this show, so there's no way that Superman has... Like, we all know Superman has not lost his powers for good. Like, yeah, no golden kryptonite. He'll fix himself somehow. So, like, but, like, yeah, like, Death of Superman, obviously, it's a reference to the comic of the 90s. I hope it's not going to be a future reference to Doomsday, because I'm tired of Doomsday. And honestly, I'm not crazy about this time travel stuff too much, like the way they're doing it now. Like, they're just rushing it, man. They're just rushing it. This is not like Dragon Ball Trunks, and that had a lot more character development. That had a lot more, like, cooler stuff in it. Better moments. This is just not it, man. They're not doing it. And in my last video, I was talking about how my friends at work wanted me to watch X-Men 97, and the story sucks, the writing sucks, in my opinion, so far, but the animation is fantastic. I feel like DC should... I know DC could do better with this animation than this, because Season 2 was a lot better, but also Creature Commandos. Have you ever watched Creature Commandos, Sergio? Creature Commandos is fucking awesome. I mean, say what you want. I'm sure some people will say, oh, this story is basic. It's, James Gunnish bullshit. Yeah. But the animation is some of the best I've seen from DC, I have to say. I absolutely love the animation style and Creature Commandos. I'd love to see that in this, but I know they're going for this kind of more low-budget anime-ish. But, dude, anime. I know anime. Like, I used to watch it so much as a kid. I've seen it done better than this. So they're not pulling it here. They're not pulling it here. If they've just allowed more time in Season 3 to build shit up, have a fucking plot line, showing us where Kara was raising John. They should have started it off with that. Really, they should. I really think the show would be phenomenal if they did that. Because, you know, this is not... John is not just some other character, dude. This is Superman's son, right? He deserves the spotlight just as much as Clark. Because this is his son. You see what I'm saying? So, we should have seen everything that his son went through. You know? I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball showed us a lot of stuff that Trunks went through when he in his world, that were in his future. Right? I'm pretty sure. Wasn't he being hunted by Android 17 or something, and 18 a lot? I don't remember. I haven't seen it in years. But I remember there was a much better backstory for Trunks than this. Didn't they even make like a whole movie about it? Right? I mean, I love Superman. I want more. Like, Season 2 was just right. It gave me exactly what I wanted. But Season 3 is just leaving me like, that's it, guys? You're just like, okay, here we go. Here it is. All right, that's it. We're done. We're done. Like, no, you just gave me a little bit of something I like. I want more. That's it? All right, so did you write? All right, here's another one. All right, Sergio. Here's another comment by Sergio. Since we already nearly halfway through the 3rd season of My Adventures with Superman, I'm going to offer an analysis... Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Of 1 to 4, touch upon some aspects of the series' characters. I hope you find it interesting. I'll also throw in some life advice. Regarding Clark's future plans for his relationship with Lois, specifically the next step, he mentioned in episode 1 that following the attack by Brainiac, it might be time to move their relationship forward. His plans included buying a farmhouse in a good school district near Metropolis, getting a dog, and obviously starting a family. This unsettled Lois. While her reaction is understandable, her expression revealed a fear and lack of trust that went beyond the norm. She pointed out to Clark that he had enjoyed a happy childhood with his parents, whereas she came from a different background, referring, of course, to her father, General Samuel Lane. Samuel Lane had been hardened by Zero Day in the Season 1 finale, and dude, General Lane just in general, bro, like in the comics and everything, like, he's just a hard-ass bastard. Like, that's just General Lane's character, man. That's just how he is. That's why Lois is the way she is. He made... And that was another great thing about Seasons 1, where they had, like, Amanda Waller, and they showed Lane, General Lane, and their relationship during all that. That was awesome. I loved that. He made sacrifices to protect both the world and his daughter. Advice. It is true that sacrifices must be made to protect those we care about, but the issue isn't just the decision to make that sacrifice, it's how it is done. Samuel is the perfect example. His decisions and his approach to sacrifice were flawed. He assembled a team, but its members, especially Slade and Amanda Waller, could not be trusted and did not share his goal of protecting Earth. Yeah, dude, like, well, we all know Amanda Waller, like, she's willing to do anything to get to her goal, dude. She has no qualms about that. I mean, maybe deep inside, but no, dude, Amanda Waller is, like, hardcore, like, bureaucrat. Like, she will sacrifice anybody to achieve her goal. Dude, and don't tell me that's not true, because, if you read even that crappy Dream Team comic I read, she even has her own nephew in the Suicide Squad. What's his name? If you look up the nephew of Amanda Waller, he's like kind of a Deadshot knockoff. But the point is, like, she even has her own family in the Suicide Squad. So Amanda Waller is capable of anything. So yeah, they could not be trusted and did not share his goal of protecting Earth. Second piece of advice. How can you protect the world or the people you love if you aren't part of their lives? Samuel was distant in both respects, right? Right, even when they tried to bring him into their life, he couldn't stay with them. He couldn't be a normal father. He couldn't be a normal, guy to Clark, just to see what was going on. Like, he ran away every time. The third piece of advice, children should not have to pay for or suffer because of their parents' mistakes. The fact that Lois is so stressed at the prospect of starting a family is her father's fault. He was distant and failed to give her the attention she needed, especially at Sergio. Oh my God, dude, you get Lois, bro. This guy gets Lois Lane. Let me get her here. I mean, this is not a modern version of Lois. This is the only statue I have of her anywhere. Here's Lois Lane, 1941 version. Dude, Sergio, my man. Dude, he understands Lois Lane, modern Lois Lane, because this Lois Lane, I don't think she had a pain in the ass general harassing her every minute. No, but jokes aside, dude. No, but I mean, not joking about Sergio getting my girl Lois. Oh man, I absolutely love the way you put that together. The fact that Lois is so stressed of having a family is her father's fault. Yeah, dude, because he was like training her in the woods, making her like an army brat. You know, they weren't living like a normal, stable life, so she's not really familiar with that. Clark is. So that's where Clark comes in to kind of balance that out. But we all know he brings her in. We all know the comics. But yeah, the way yeah, dude, that's a great, I love that. I absolutely love that. But, that can't be helped, man. That's just how it is with parents, bro. Like, sometimes that's what they do to us. That's what we do to our kids if we're going to have them. So that's Lois's burden to bear. Clark was lucky enough to have Ma and Pa Kent raise him and have a semi-normal life despite being a super being. But yeah, dude, my only criticism, though, they made Clark a bit too dorky because I do not see Clark, even goofy Clark Kent, I don't see him buying a toy house and like playing with toys as if he's playing family. That was a bit like, dude, I'm telling you, dude, season 3 they've been stretching it. Come on, give me that. They've been stretching it a bit. It was cute in season 2, some of the stuff they did, but like this is like, what are you guys doing here? This is kind of like, this is too girly. Like, who are you appealing to here? But nonetheless, man, Sergio, 100%. Let me see if I missed anything else here. No, I think that was everything. Then the other comments I got are just on the other. Oh, no. Yeah, that's the one I read that you did 6 hours ago. All right. So I think I covered everything. Sorry for the late response, guys, Sergio, because, like I said, took a break. Been working a lot at work. It's been killing me. But I am so glad to be back here I fixed up my setup a little bit. I'm feeling good. Gonna do some more videos. Feels good to talk to everybody. Just see what you guys are doing. And I also wanted to just wait until the next episode so nothing would be spoiled for me. But yeah, you guys comment as you see fit. Comment. Like and subscribe, people. And let's talk comics and stuff. Have a good rest of your day, guys.